Ben here, and today I'm going to be building some snares for some under ice beaver snares. And you know, I used to make snares a bunch of different ways for a bunch of different types of snaring, coyotes, beavers, wolves, what have you. But after learning a couple things from this one wolf trapper, we can trap wolves here in Idaho and we can snare them. I just decided that I'm just going to build all my snares the same way for coyotes and beaver, and if I want to use them on coon or anything else, just because, you know, you can optimize your efficiency and how fast you can put them out. So the way that this guy did them is instead of having a swivel on the end and then wiring that off and having a snare support coming to it or whatever, he just has the snare loop to the size that he decided. And this is for wolves, so, you know, it's pretty dang big. And then he's got just a couple extra inches here. Now I'll get up closer for you guys. Just a couple extra inches here that attaches directly to this. I believe this is number 9 wire. And if not, I'll post in the description down below what this actually is. But he's just got it connected right here. And then that way, this, you can wire this off to a tree, and it acts as both your snare support. So let's get this snare up here. This acts as both your snare support system and you're wired off to the tree. And I mean, this is thick stuff. Now the other thing is that wolves, they can chew through stuff like no tomorrow. Now this is some pretty dang hefty cable here, and they're not going to chew through this. But I was a little bit concerned that they chew through this support / tie-down wire. But once the wolf is out here and he's caught, he's just going to be chewing right on this right here, and he's going to leave this all alone. And this can act as a swivel for you at the same time. Now, these right here, if you guys are just curious, in Idaho we have to have what's called diverters. And this is for your setup. And it doesn't really work well for deer, but for moose and elk, which are the main ones that it's protecting, you know, they come walking down the trail, and their chest bumps this, pushes the snare out of the way, and then it will just pop right back into place. So this is the snare that I decided to build for everything, just minus the diverters here, just because you can just slide that on from the back. But I mean, wolf trap's going to use different cable anyways, but just that way I'm just buying all the same material. So here's an example of a beaver one. I made it a while ago, pulled it up, didn't get anything in this. I caught him in the conibear, but so as you can see, it's the same exact setup. I like these to be about 9 to 10 inch loops. This one right here is actually about 10.5, and this one's about 9.5. But that way, see this, I just have it wired here just to hold it onto the pole at the height I want. But this isn't actually where it's secured. Up above, outside of the ice here, this is secured to a big log that's sitting over the hole. But that way here, I don't have to have no cable running up and wiring it down below, and then have a separate piece of wire that I'm using to hold my snare up as a snare support. This is just all one and done. So, you know, the beaver's coming along, they see the bait sticks, they start swimming around, they swim through, boom, they're caught in the snare. So, it's pretty effective. And then that way, let's say I pull this up and I don't have any beavers here. Well, this is the same setup that I use for coyotes. These were actually previously coyote snares. And I can just rip it off here, go set it for coyotes. I'm going to walk you guys through how I make these. They're about as simple as you get. I mean, snares, they're cheap, they're fast to make, they're really effective. If your state, you know, look at your state laws. Some states you can only use cable restraints, some states no snares at all, and some states you can use snares but only under the ice. So look at your state laws, be aware of that. I don't want anyone going out and setting snares in places where they're not supposed to, because snares are effective killing machines. There's nothing quite as deadly as 100 snares in the woods. So without further ado, we're gonna build some. First thing we gotta do to build this snare is we gotta get our cable. Now, pardon me, I prefer, big word prefer, 1x19, 3/32. That is what I like. That is what I use. It's awesome for coyotes and for beaver, for my drowning cables, for my snares, for my stakes, everything. It's a great cable. So, if you're doing wolves, don't use this cable. Go bigger up. Go up a size. First thing we gotta do is determine the length that we need to cut our cable. So, for my snare loops, I prefer a 10-inch for beaver, 12-inch for coyote. And to get that, plus a couple other inches for hooking onto my wire, I want 42 inches of cable. So, coming here, I got 42 inches marked out on my table. Take it there. Grab my chisel. Done. So, next thing. In Idaho, according to our laws, and I stress this, look up your laws, we need a deer stop or breakaway. One of the two. So, I'm going to put on this thing a deer stop. What this does is it ensures that if a deer gets his foot caught in this snare, if I'm using it for coyotes or even under ice snares, they still have to have them, it does not close all the way and they can get their foot out. So, let's come over here, go a couple inches up. What's weird about the law is there's not a stipulation on how far away it needs to be. It just has to be on here. So, but I don't like killing deer and catching deer, so I'm going to give it a good, deer's foot, good, about that distance right there. Boom. Done. So, next thing I got to do is I got to load this snare. So, come over here. You can use a nail in the wall. You can use, I'm using this because we're moving. Just use something that you can bring your wire on, kind of bend it around. It's nothing crazy, okay? Don't get crazy with it. Most of this wire pretty much comes loaded already. So, here we go. That'll do right there. So, I'm using cam locks. These don't have the teeth on them because I messed up when I ordered. I prefer those, but these get the job done. Now this lock, your wire comes in from the side and you bend it back. Some you come in from underneath and you bend it down. So, now ensure when you put it on your wire that when you pull to close, it actually closes. So see, this way it closes. That it doesn't. Don't put it on backwards. I've done it before. Makes your snare useless. So, just going to come through here. If I can fit her. Come on, baby. There we go. Now, this one, I'm going to bend it to the left. Doesn't really matter which way you go. Bend her on over. Grab your pliers. Crush her on down. And do that again. Get it good. Okay. Take your stop. Put a stop on the end. You don't want to lose your game. Move your fur, whatever. Bring her on over. Boom. Now all I got to do is put my wire on, and that's that. So, for my wire, I like having a lot because I like being able to reach far distances in the trail, or if I got to go, 6 feet underwater, if I'm doing like a 3-tier setup chandelier with these snares. So I like about 8 feet. You can do more, you can do less, or you can not even do this setup. Don't really matter to me. It's all personal preference, guys. Just giving you the tips that I've learned throughout the years. So take it here, take my splice. You can hammer these on. I prefer swedging them first. I don't have a big old fancy swedging tool because I don't have money growing on trees. No, they're not that expensive. I just, you know, this works. Why spend money on new stuff? So it's kind of a pain in the butt sometimes, but she gets her done. So I'm just gonna come on up here, bring it down. And I'm gonna finish it off with a good old beating, just to make sure. And that, my friends, is a finished snare. Now, I could have probably done a better job loading that thing, but she'll get her done. So make sure you always put, you know, trap tags on your snares. I'm pretty sure every state's the same. It's a trap, it gets a tag. So I prefer mine on the end of the wire, just so it's out of the way. It's all up to you. Last thing I gotta do is wind this thing up. So I like it so that I can have this thing in my pocket, in my backpack, in my trap bag, what have you. They're not taking up a lot of room, because the only downside to this wire is it's bulky. So, ooh, got myself a little bit there with that cable. Okay, so pull that off. Now all I gotta do, wind up the cable. And you know, building snares can go faster than this. If you're building the snare and that's it. But with this extra wire on here, whoop, that didn't work. It does take a little bit of time, a little bit more time to build. But guys, I'm telling you, out there on the line, when time is fur, this saves you time. It really does, because I don't have to do 20 million wire jobs, finicky with wire all the time. Boom, that's a snare. I got 4 done in about 15 minutes, because when I'm talking to y'all, you know, take a little. I just wanted to show you the finished product here. So it winds up real small. And I mean, it's a little bit more bulky than just the snare itself, but that way I don't have to take anything else in the woods or on the ice except this right here. So it's pretty nifty setup. And I prefer it for many reasons, like I've stated before already. And if I can get this out. There you go. I mean, that is a nice hanging loop right there. This wire can go as far or as short as I want it. Anything that sticks its head through this, boom, I've got it caught. So, you know, if you like it, use it. If you don't like it, don't use it. And if you guys have any advice on me building these snares, making it go faster, better things to use, tools or parts, or the cable that you guys prefer for your animals, or the stops that you like better, just, you know, comment down below or shoot me a message. You know, let me know what you guys think, and I'll try to build some better content for you guys. And I always enjoy learning more. So, you know, as trappers, it's a learning curve. It's always about improving yourself. So, you know, until then, y'all be safe, be good. And y'all have a good evening.